Cabela is a well-known sporting goods franchise, but most of the time in the gaming world it's known as a video game hunting simulating company. However, lately they've decided to branch out into other types of games, like Cabela's Adventure Camp and this title. Cabela's Survival Shadows of Katmai is a mountain climbing game with some hunting. In fact, I would say it's 80% climbing and 20% hunting and shooting. So if you're expecting more of a hunting experience, this game is not for you. But if you enjoy mountain climbing, you might find this title more enjoyable than you would expect. The very first thing that I have to talk about is the outstanding music. Even in the menus, the music portrayed a sense of urgency and excitement. In the story mode, you play as James Logan, a pilot who's flying out to the remote part of the Alaskan wilderness for the lovely Dr. West for mysterious reasons. The plane gets struck by lightning and goes down. Amazingly enough, you both survive, and you need to try and find your way back to civilization. But soon enough, you realize that maybe there's more at stake than just getting back home. The story is very compelling. It moves very quickly. Unlike other games out there, it doesn't spend too much time stalling the player on the plot of the game. If I had any complaint about the story, it was a bit uneven at times. What I mean is there were times where the story would move ahead without any explanation on how the situation you got into got resolved. Like I said, this is a mountain climbing game, and you'll do that a lot from level to level. You will move fairly effortlessly, even jumping across chasms to get to another climbing area. You know, really, your character spends more time on walls than Spider-Man. At times it was ridiculous. He doesn't even look for a more convenient way. If this guy ever went grocery shopping, I bet he would climb to the top of the roof, climb back down from the back, and then go through the back door. Now you're probably saying, oh, there had to be no other way. But there was! On your adventure, you have a dog following you. That dog actually finds a way to get ahead of you every time without acting like a monkey on a swing. How about you follow that dog and save a little energy there, genius? The game uses a strange way to control your character. You do use the nunchuck to move around, but you use the C and Z button to do most of the action movements of your character. And I have to assume they did this to accommodate the Wii Zapper, or their own additional gun adapter that you can buy. Now, I didn't have the adapters to review, but from the pictures it doesn't look any different from any of the other unnecessary Wii adapters. I have bought these add-ons before, but I can honestly say I've never found one that has improved the gameplay and the feel or the fun of the title. I had no problem using the Wiimote and nunchuck to play the game. Sure, using the C button started to hurt my hand after jumping on the 100th cliff in the game, but it worked fairly well. The story had quite a few interesting plot points. They were funny, intentional or not. For example, there was a point where the main character kills a moose so he can skin his hide to give it to a freezing character. But instead of skinning the animal, he opens the animal up and puts her inside it. So the little Wii viewer turned to me and said, "You know, I didn't know that Star Wars scene was something that was real that you could actually do." I told him, I guess it is. Gross, but I suppose it's true. But then a bit later, they have this conversation.
I suppose you're the one who put me inside that thing.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
I don't know whether to thank you or strangle you. You probably saved my life.
Don't mention it.
Where did you learn how to do that?
I saw it in a movie.
What?
Seriously? You're using Star Wars scenes as survival techniques. You know, maybe you can use the Force to get yourself off this mountain. Now, like I said, there is also hunting in this game. Usually when you find a clearing, you can expect a brief shooting sequence, or occasionally a flock of birds or bats will attack you while you're climbing the mountain. These shooting sections will just come down to killing attacking animals. It was pretty simple, but the camera at times was a little bad. You could dodge attacks, but when you did, the camera would sometimes not keep up with you, and would give you an inconvenient angle when you're being attacked. There are occasionally boss fights, which were bigger animals attacking you. You would need to target them in the right spots in order to... Holy crap! Did that bear just make a weapon to fight me with? It's a bear! Like a bear isn't intimidating enough, now he's got a beaten stick! You only have a few guns to choose from, but that's a bit understandable. I mean, you're trapped on a mountain, so it's not like you can go to the local gun shop to buy an Uzi. If you don't want to play the story mode, you can play the hunting mode. It's nothing but hunting and surviving in the wild on a track. You hunt all the animals that you come across in the story mode. Now, there are two different ways to play the hunting mode, survival and trek. They both play pretty much the same way, but survival is a bit more intense due to more attacking animals. Even the music in this was exciting to listen to while you were trekking through the woods.
2-for-1 special.
You'll be given a rifle and shotgun. The game will move you forward, and your job is to shoot everything that gets in your way. The trick is, in order to get the points that you need, you have to use the right gun for the right animal. You use the rifle for the wolves, bears, and deer, and a shotgun for the birds. If you use the wrong gun, you'll lose points. Now, sometimes when you hit an animal, a special enhancement will show up. They range from rapid fire to point multipliers and many other things. Cabelas Survival was a great game. Even though the gameplay mostly consisted of climbing mountains, it was still fun to play. The biggest downside I had with the game was the length of the story. You can beat the game in about 5 to 6 hours, and it's currently retailing at $30 for the non-gun version of this game. However, the hunting game was a lot of fun to play alone or with a friend, so I definitely think it was worth a rent. And if it ever comes down another $10, then I think you should buy it.
That was actually kind of fun.